Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We are here for transfer talk, and there's plenty to get into. But before we do that, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really does help us out over here, and I've already messed up on the thing already. So one moment, if I on my Twitter, let me double. Yeah, I messed up. So I need to put in my comments. Hashtag MUFC, hashtag LFC. Oh, no, not that one. Arsenal, we're talking about. Oh, AFC. And obviously Tottenham Hotspur FC. So we're slowly sorting all of this out now. Tweeted that with the hashtags that I need. There we go. Now it messes up yet again. Standard for me there. Standard from me there indeed. But let's get into it. As I said, me and multitasking never works really well anyway. So there we go. Right, I've got everything I need up now. So Kenny saying hello. All the bugs are back in my house now. Lovely. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, let's get into it, shall we? So we're going to start off with United being linked with Harry Winks. This is an outstanding story. I can't wait to talk about this one. And then obviously the big news that came out last night. Conte rejecting Spurs. I mean, this is mad. Spurs are totally in the mud. Ronaldo won't be going for... United won't be going for Ronaldo. But Ronaldo, as we mentioned yesterday, very key to this summer. He's very, very key. Arsenal are interested in Zeki Celik from Lille. Sancho to United. We've got an update on that, including a price that Dortmund have put out, which if United don't meet, they really are in the mud. And the last bit is Neco Williams from Liverpool is going to be on the move. And that one does interest me because my club has slight links with this one. Which we'll discuss in a second. Obviously, Neco Williams right at the end. That's for sure. Kenny laughing his head off. Spurs bottlers. So let's talk Harry Winks first. A close club source has confirmed that the club recruitment team are big admirers of Winks. Talks at this stage are still in their infancy. United have already learned that Daniel Levy is open to selling and would demand within the region of £25 million. United are hopeful they can reinforce their central midfield position, and given the uncertainty around Paul Pogba, are keen to identify possible summer targets. A player Solskjaer is targeting is Spurs midfielder Harry Winks. Now, there's a lot to this story. There's a real lot to this story. Firstly, United will be linked with absolutely everyone. It would not surprise me if this is a thing thrown in from the Tottenham end. Now, if you think of the name Manchester United, or even just think of the sources, the media, which club, if you put their name in, are most likely to click the link to look at it? Manchester United, linked with God knows who. But there's more to this than that as well. If you think about Manchester United, they truly are in a situation where they're told that they're going to get 4 new signings. One of them could be Tom Heaton. You legit could be saying that Tom Heaton is a United signing. I know you don't want me to, but that could be legit how United do this. Secondly, if you get Sancho and a Varane, that's 120 million or 110 million, right? The Glazers aren't going to give you that much money. So you're going to get a B-Tech sort of plug for your midfield. Harry Winks is that B-Tech version. He is not an elite player. Harry Winks is not an elite player. Do I think he could do a job at United? Probably. But is it going to be a vast improvement on Scott McTominay and Fred? Well, no. He really is not he's not an improvement on Scott McTominay or Fred. Like, to be blunt, he's no better than them. What if I was United fan, what would concern me the most is United even being linked to this guy in the first place. Because is Harry Winks really that player that's going to take United to that next level. I have doubts, serious doubts. Why did Jose Mourinho not pick Harry Winks? That says everything you need to know. Jose Mourinho, still very good up here. It's sort of getting the actions out there that he's not very good at. Harry Winks is not what United need to go for. You can go get better in Europe than Harry Winks, and you could potentially spend maybe 5 to 10 million more on that player in Europe. But the ability you're going to get for that is way ahead of Harry Winks. Harry Winks is not a good enough player. Harry Winks is a Spurs player in terms of that's his level. Sort of pushing for Europa League. That is his level. That is where Harry Winks belongs. There's a reason he's not in the England squad. There's a reason he wasn't picked by Mourinho. Yet United are linked with him. That is, for me, barbaric. Utterly barbaric. But if you want to have your say on this, and we'll be opening the lines after I've gone through all the stories, then do call in. But I suppose this links in quite well with our next story, which is Antonio Conte has rejected Tottenham Hotspur. Conte is not joining Spurs at current conditions, confirmed. He's not convinced about the project, and staff members being a big difference on salary too. Parassi is expected to expected to accept Spurs' job. Spurs will look for a different manager. Now, there's obviously two parts of this, isn't it? There's a big difference on salary. I believe the difference is around 2 million, right? So it's not a huge difference, but there's a big difference there. Staff members. And the thing is, Levy went to his press. He went to his tier 1 sources and said, Conte's done. He's going to sign the contract. This was a couple of days ago. And everyone was like, yeah, Conte's going to accept the Spurs job. He's joined Spurs. One of the agreements is Harry Kane would not be leaving, and all of this, really. And what he has done is he has decided to make that news widely reported and allow everyone to know that. And then Conte is, and if you ask anyone, Conte, no, this is sort of very much a sort of Antonio Conte move, really, in terms of what he's done is he's gone with a sort of lower offer, and then he's increased it. So I think he's asking for, I think, 7 to 8 staff, and Spurs giving him 4 or 5. Not an awful. That's the thing. Conte wanted more staff, and he doesn't believe in the project. Now, if a manager doesn't believe in the project, that's terminated that straight away. And think about how many managers have rejected Spurs. You obviously had Ten Hag, who signed a new contract, but everyone thought that would be to get more compensation. I don't think he'll be looking at Spurs and thinking this is a smart move for him yet. Then you've had, who else has been linked to Tottenham? You've had loads, and none of them have gone. And now Conte has turned around and gone, "No, we're all right." And the issue is, Spurs have not got a plan now. What is their plan? They were interviewing the likes of Roberto Martinez, Gareth. I mean, they even approached Gareth Southgate. I'm a big fan of Tottenham taking Gareth Southgate for obvious reasons. I'm English, and I'd like Southgate to not be England manager. So let's work on that. Let's see if a deal can be done for Southgate to leave England and join Spurs. I'll give Spurs a bit of respect for at least about 3 or 4 weeks before I rip into the shit out of them. But I think they should go for Southgate on a selfish level. Just take him. Just go. I mean, we'll be sad to see him go. Thank you for the memories and all that. But do go to Spurs. It'll be a great place for you to be. But why did they go for Southgate? Well, it's not because of his style of football. It's not because of any of his tactical abilities. It was because he was matey with Harry Kane. He's worked with Kane. And that for Daniel Levy thinks, well, he's worked with Harry Kane, so he'll keep him. It don't work like that, dickhead. I don't think Southgate coming into the Spurs job is going to make Harry Kane think, I'll do this. The man's on international duty, and Spurs are talking to Conte, and he's probably like, I could do Conte. This will work. I mean, Conte, a big manager, and all of this. Now where's it? Now what's he thinking? He's probably thinking, fuck me, Conte's rejected him. Who are we getting next? Eddie Howe? I mean, please. So Tottenham are completely in the mud. And what do you guys think of this? I mean, what do you think of Tottenham right now? Because their fans are so frustrated. I spoke to my dad, who is a Spurs fan himself, and he just said, I don't know what to think. He said, Daniel Levy should never have made this information public. Should never have said it was a done deal, right? That's my dad saying that. And then he was like, Levy has to go now. He said Levy has to go. He still hasn't got a name for the stadium. He's crippled with Tottenham are crippled with debt. Harry Kane wants to fuck off. They've brought in Mourinho to win trophies, and that's just failed. My dad is raging. He's obviously a Spurs fan, so I do talk to him a lot about this, and he is beyond raging. He's absolutely fuming at how Spurs have acted, and it's a complete mess. What do they do now? I mean, my dad seems to think they're probably going to keep Ryan Mason. That's what my dad thinks is likely to happen. He thinks that Daniel Levy's just going to be like, well, I can't get anyone. We'll just give the job to Ryan Mason. I mean, Tottenham next season, what the hell are they? I mean, Harry Kane will leave if they don't bring in a top manager, and he'll have to go and get Conte. For them to keep Harry Kane, he has to keep Conte, or find a way of getting Conte in Spurs. Now, he'll have to buckle under the pressure. Will he buckle under the pressure and just agree with what Conte wants, which is a really bad move anyway, because it just shows that you're desperate. Any manager worth their salt will not go to Spurs because they're desperate. They are desperate. It's a complete madness. Who will end up at Spurs? Frankly, I don't know. A couple of comments here. From Rice to Winks, what a downgrade. Oh, it is so bad. McTominay is fucking clear. Fred is worse. It's because he's English. Yeah, English tax as well. Southgate to Spurs, I beg. I do as well. I mean, for me, he has to. Now, Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is not a target for Man United for the upcoming transfer window. Ronaldo is a player Solskjaer admires, but a return to United, highly unlikely this summer. Lots to this. They've already signed Cavani down to another year. So they made no... And they want to feed Greenwood that time up as the number 9, because that is how United view their number 9 situation in the coming years. And for me, that is very true. Is how they should be acting. If they can get Sancho, Cavani signed to another year. Greenwood is sort of playing a bit of both in terms of right wing and up front. Get that game time for Greenwood, and I think that works very well for United. But I also don't think that Ronaldo would be the best move anyway, because that all of those wages, I mean, he's on ridiculous wages. Whether he takes a pay cut or not, he's going to be on a ridiculous amount of wages. You're looking at least north of 400, right? De Gea's on 350. It'd completely destroy your wage structure. And Ollie has spent so long, well, he's tried to. The Glazers simply don't help him. He's tried to reduce that wage budget as much as possible. Again, it doesn't really happen with them giving contracts to fucking Juan Mata and Lee Graham, but, you know, banter and all that. It's completely a disaster. But Ronaldo is key for United in terms of this transfer window, because for me, Manchester United, the reason he's key, if Ronaldo leaves Juventus, let's say he goes somewhere else, like to a PSG maybe, then that opens up the door for Pogba to go back to Juventus. But it could be another way of, if Pochettino was to leave PSG, maybe to go back to Spurs, and then Zinedine Zidane went to PSG, you could see Pogba move from United to PSG. Obviously, Pogba being French, PSG a French club, and Zidane being French, and someone who Pogba admires a lot. I think that would work very well, and that you could see that happen. Or Pogba could run down his contract and just be done with it. There's plenty of things around this that is the Pogba situation is very much Just think of 700 moving plates going all around. That is the Pogba transfer, and it's not getting spoken about. Pogba is not is simply not getting spoken about. Yet he is critical to this summer's transfers for Manchester United. Absolutely critical. So we need to discuss more about Pogba because his decisions are key to Manchester United. The Trumpetron, where's Williams going? I'll get into Neco Williams in a second. There's a fair few names around him, and man, who you talking to? I'm talking to the 10 people watching YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. But thank you for your valuable input. Let's talk Arsenal quickly before we move to Sancho and Neco Williams. Arsenal's quite quick. Right back, Arsenal are very interested in Lille right back Zeki Celik. The player is valued at around 15 million. Arsenal are still unsure if they are able to complete the Max Aarons deal financially, which is a bit mad. It's a bit mad because Arsenal, and this is always going to have been the problem for Arsenal this year, because they're not in Europe in anything. The European Conference League, European Europa League, or Champions League, they're not in Europe. Financially, they've lost money out of that. Plenty of money. So now they're having to be really bloody smart on this. And I don't think Arsenal have quite got the people up above to be smart. For me, they don't. They don't have smart people in charge. Buendia is apparently going to be north of 40 million, which is fair because these clubs no longer need this money. Long gone are the days where you could just bully a smaller team into giving you their player. Can't do that anymore. There's too much money within football, especially Norwich now they've come up. So Arsenal are fully in the mud, fully in the mud there. Can they get Max Aarons? For me, they need Max Aarons. Max Aarons would be so good for Arsenal, right? He's that very good young right back. You've got Kieran Tierney on the left, Max Aarons on the right, with Gabriel and Saliba in the middle. That doesn't look too bad, right? You've built a good, strong base. Now it's moving it forward. You've got Thomas Partey, but who are you putting in with? Bissouma, I don't think that works too well because both, for me, seem like both seem box-to-box midfielders. I don't think Bissouma is a DM. I really don't. So I don't think going for Bissouma is the smartest move for Arsenal because he simply is going to be asked to do a role that I don't think he's good enough at doing. I think he's more of an 8. It's similar to United and McTominay. He's not a 6. He is an 8. But he's being asked to do a 6 role. That's what you'd be doing with Bissouma. It wouldn't work very well. And then obviously going forward, you've got Saka, Martinelli, Pepe, whoever. You've got a fairly good attack, but there's still no prolific goal scorers. So Arsenal really need to sort out this summer. Odegaard back at Madrid with Ancelotti. You'd expect him to get game time under Carlo, so he won't be coming to Arsenal. There's a lot of things going on with Arsenal Football Club that we do need to work out and discuss. It's a complete madness. Kenny, Niall, I've sent you so much on Sancho. There's so much transfer news on him. Can we just get Sancho done for fuck's sake? I would love you to, as it is getting boring talking about Jadon Sancho. You're streaming on YouTube. Sorry, yes, we stream on all 3 currently. So we do YouTube, Twitch, and on Twitter all at the same time. So that's why some will be lower, some will be higher, and it's very much like one of them. For me, also, let's talk Sancho. The deadline for so there's 2 parts of this, right? So there's a deadline and there's a price now. The deadline for Sancho is on the 23rd of July, which is the day Dortmund go to travel to their training camp. So they are on their training camp. So that's the deadline, the 23rd of July. Obviously, somewhat reported what we've said. If England, or when England win the Euros, obviously that will be about that time. So about 3 weeks there. That's on that. The United Stand tweeted out, Borussia Dortmund and Jadon Sancho have a gentleman's agreement in place that the winger will be allowed to leave to join Manchester United provided they meet the £77 million asking price. Now, that is considerably less than what has been reported of the 80 to 85 million, which is complete madness. 90 million euros is 77 million pounds. So that is there. They're confident they can get the deal done, though. In terms, again, from the United stand, Man United are confident of completing the deal with Dortmund for Jadon Sancho. Don't forget, they are the only team in for Sancho. Liverpool are not in the race unless they sell Mane or Salah. Chelsea are not interested in. They're focused on getting a number 9, whether that be Lukaku, Haaland, Kane, whoever. Right, that may be maybe even Lewandowski. But yeah, is so much going around there. So many moving plates for Arsenal and Sancho. In terms of Sancho, it's because I've seen a bit on Arsenal that I will report briefly here. Charles Watts has put a tweet out saying, understand Aston Villa have moved ahead in the pursuit of Emi Buendia. They are closer to meeting Norwich's demands. You know it's bad for Arsenal when Aston Villa are closer financially to getting the Buendia deal done. That, for me, is everything I need to say on that. It's mad. Is there no place for Willock? I mean, Willock, you'd assume, would want to go to Newcastle, because why would he stay at Arsenal? He's not going to get game time. But he may be forced to, because he may have to play back up to Smith Rowe. Arsenal are completely in all sorts of disarray right now. And all these Arsenal fans going, as long as we have a good summer, get what we need. Having a good summer, you're losing Buendia to Aston Villa. You can't get Max Aaron, so you're going to go get Zeki Celik, who I've never heard of. Yeah, he's played at Lille, he's done a good job, blah, blah, blah. Max Aaron is going to be better, I can assure you of that. I can do some stats later and check it out, but I do think that Arsenal are completely in the mud here. They need to sort themselves out very quickly. Norwich, certain Norwich cam isn't going to them. How are Aston Villa beating Arsenal in the Buendia race? It's completely mad. But Villa have money, right? Villa have a lot of money. Their owners are very rich. And the last bit, Neco Williams. Let's talk a little bit about Neco Williams before I put the link in the chat. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put the link into the chat now. And whilst I talk about Neco Williams, that gives people a chance to come on and have their say. Don't forget, you can talk to me about any of the stories you want to discuss in terms of what we've spoken about today, because there is 2 shows of transfer talk. So you got one obviously at 3 p.m. You got one at 10 p.m. So try not to talk about anything we haven't spoken about, because that may get brought up in our daily sort of roundup at 10 p.m. tonight. So try to stick on topic in terms of that, if that is at all possible. The last one I'll do before I bring the guests in, Neco Williams. A host of clubs are interested in Neco Williams on loan. So just confirm, this is a loan deal, not a transfer. According to Team Talk, Norwich are interested if they lose Max Aarons. The other teams are Stoke, Barnsley, Cardiff, Swansea, Plymouth Argyle, and Portsmouth, which I thought was very intriguing on this. So for me, I don't think Argyle or Portsmouth will get him. I think it's interesting our names have been brought up, but I don't think we'll go for him. We've got Joe Edwards, unless Ryan Lowe was looking to move in Joe Edwards into the centre, which for me makes 0 sense anyway. But Neco Williams, it's interesting because if Arsenal were to get Max Aarons or someone, United or Liverpool, whoever, right, if they were to go get Max Aarons, then Norwich apparently are interested in looking at Neco Williams as a sort of a lookout there. Obviously, the other teams, Stoke, Barnsley, Cardiff, Swansea. Interesting that all 4 of them are top championship sides. They're top sides in the championship. So that, for me, means that if Argyle and Portsmouth are nowhere near this, for me, being in League One, that it simply just won't happen. But it is nice to see our names are chucked into these stories somewhat, because it's nice to see the teams being, well, us being linked with big teams, loan players, which I do I do like. But before I get the guests in, please like the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. That is really important. You do that, and let's get this to as many people as possible. So make sure you do hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and get involved in the comments. I'd love to hear from you throughout this. But we've got Kenny in the back. Kenny, what story are you wanting to talk about today?
I'd like to speak on the Harry Winks story, please.
Go for it, mate. What's your thoughts on this? And yes, I know City are linked to him, but City won't go through.
Well, I personally think that it's a brief from the English media. Well, I don't think we're actually going to go for him. I think we'll link to him.
You think it's clickbait?
Yeah, I don't think he'll come to us. However, it is. I think he is the best midfielder of all time. So if we were to go for him, then I would like it. Because now being serious, though, he's not even better. He's not even better than Fred, to be honest. I know that Fred is worse.
I was about to say.
I know I said Fred is worse in the comments, but to be honest, they're at the same level. Both are utter dross. I've seen Harry Winks. I've seen him play loads. He got dominated by bloody, who was it? I think Norwich City. I think if they lost to Norwich City in the FA Cup, and they got absolutely dominated in the midfield. And that Norwich midfield, which was awful, and got bottom of the league. Yeah, he's awful. And to be honest, I really hope we don't get him. I don't think we will get him because I think it's just clickbait. Oh, guys, let's get the United fans riled up. Oh, look, there's so many people are clicking because we got linked to every single player on planet Earth. Bloody hell, there's probably like a Qatarian player called Jonathan Service.
I was going to say, that was really weird. When you were thinking of a name, I thought of Jonathan.
That was very strange.
The element on United and the reason that United get linked to so many players isn't because United are interested. It's because United has got a worldwide fan base, and their fans will click the page. So Harry Winks United, people will absolutely click that. Even rivals will click that. I bet Reece has probably looked at it and clicked it open and gone, well, maybe not Reece. He was busy looking at Van Dijk. But, you know, other fans might have been clicking on it and laughing with hysterical laughter. I mean, absolute hysterical laughter. But for me, it is clickbait. But I suppose the worry is that they're saying Solskjaer is targeting Spurs midfielder Harry Winks. That would get me going. I'd be like, yeah, okay, Solskjaer out now. I'm not joking. If he's going for Harry Winks, I would be Solskjaer out. Are you even there, Kenny?
Yeah, I didn't realize I was speaking now. But no, you shouldn't be Ollie out.
Normally, how dialogue works. It normally I talk and then you talk. That's normally how a conversation goes.
I don't think that Ollie should go if we're interested in Harry Winks. Because if it leads to more, I'm going to end up sending in an £800 million bid to get Harry Winks. And then, Ollie out. Unless... But watch us get him, and then watch him be just the best player in the league and win Player of the Year somehow. Then win us the treble somehow. Just watch it happen, man.
Never happening.
I don't think I can see that happening. But Reece, talk to me about Neco Williams. So a host of clubs are interested in Neco on loan. According to Team Talk, Norwich are interested if they lose Max Aarons. The other teams are Stoke, Barnsley, Cardiff, Swansea, Plymouth Argyle, and Portsmouth. I don't think Plymouth I don't think Argyle or Portsmouth will get him, mainly because he is a good player and we're in League One, so I don't think he needs to drop that far down.
Yeah,
I would love him at home park. I think he'd be brilliant. I simply just don't see us going for him. If we do, I'm going to be very excited and I'm going to love this season. But where do you see him likely going? I mean, Cardiff, they're a fairly good team. They've also had Harry Wilson on loan from you guys. Swansea were in the playoffs, as were Barnsley. So two top teams in the Championship. Stoke are sort of hit and miss team, really.
Yeah.
Where do you see him go?
I think because he's Welsh, it's quite likely Swansea or Cardiff. Obviously, we've had, like you said, the business with Cardiff recently, but we also obviously let Brewster go on into Swansea. So we've had previous with them over the past couple of years. So I can see them being the likely places for him. And I saw that he was linked with Burnley, I think, as well as the one Premier League club. But I think what he needs is just consistent football, and he's sort of in a situation of I don't think his ceiling is anywhere near as high as somebody like Harvey Elliott, and obviously they're a different position, but they need experience before they can start worrying about what sort of level they're at, if you know what I mean. So I don't think he would start for Burnley, but I think he would start for one of those top teams in the Championship.
You say that let's say the Championship team's saying maybe squad rotation, stuff like that. But then I'll come in and go, we'll have him first team starter. Do you think that it would be right for him to drop as far as League One to push himself back up?
I think the thought process is, and I'm pretty sure I've seen so many interviews where players have said this, it's just all you need is experience when you're young. And then the more games you play, the more you can figure out your actual ability, because we've only seen it. I think he started or played like 13 games or something like that this season, which on numbers seems a lot, but it actually feels like nothing. Yeah. And the main thing is that I think me and a lot of Liverpool fans feel that at the moment he's not good enough. We can't rely on him to back up Trent at the moment. So I think for his future, he needs to really show us that he has the quality to come in and be that player that can give Trent a game, because he does seem a bit too small. He seems quite sort of switched off defensively at times, and I think if you're playing against more bigger guys, more physical, it will really toughen him up a bit more. And obviously you play against so many different wingers, so many different strikers in the lower leagues, it will really be a test for him. And obviously the same as it's been for an attacker like Harvey Elliott this season against defenders, it will be the same for a defender against forwards.
I suppose and I'm just saying Argyle because I know Argyle, and he probably would. Yeah. But we could move Joe Edwards into the middle. I have no qualms about that. I mean, Joe Edwards can also do whatever the fuck he wants, really. He's beautiful in terms of on the pitch, captain, leader. He's been playing right wing back, but he can play central midfielder. I think he'd do very well. And Argyle are seriously, we're lacking leaders at the back, but we've gone and signed a 32-year-old with experience, so that helps on there. I suppose what you're looking for is someone that plays the same style of football. Now, the reason that Argyle, I think, have been linked is because we've done a bit of business with you now under Ryan Lowe. We had Adam Lewis from you on loan.
Yeah. He got injured, didn't he? I think
he did. He came back, but he was, from what I could see, the kid just needs a bit of game time. He really just needs consistent game time. I think that a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's shit," and I'm like, "He's not played enough to be shit."
That's the thing with our fans. It's like there's a lot of people saying he's shit, but he genuinely just hasn't had consistent game time. Like he's had some good games. I think he played quite well against Everton when we beat them with that Curtis Jones strike last season. He's had a couple of good games, but then he's also had a couple of howlers. So it's kind of, we really need to see him play consistent games over a whole season to really see what he's about.
That's the thing with loans, isn't it? It's about finding a team that plays a similar style to you. Now, we play with wing backs, which you don't play wing backs, but it will teach him a lot because he'll be expected to do the defending as well as going forward. Very much what you expect Trent and Robbo to do. So he'll have that experience. And we like to try and play an attacking brand of possession-based football. Very much very similar to Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool.
Yeah.
So there is elements of it would work really well. And I think it's that style of play, and it's about finding the right club and the right manager. Most importantly, it's the right manager, a manager that believes in youth, that can coach and can get the best out of these players. And
100%.
I'm not blowing Ryan Lowe's trumpet, of course I'm not, but he's a really good coach. I mean, a prime example is Luke Jepcott, who was on loan at Truro City, and mind you, Truro is not a big a big team. I think that's even below Conference South, or they might be in Conference South. And then he came straight into a League Two side, and Lowe got the best out of him. I think similarly, you'd see the same with Neco Williams. So even though Argyle are a way chance that we wouldn't get him, I do think that if we offer him first team football and he plays consistently, I think we'd do quite well with him. But I do think he'll be one of the Championship sides that pick him up.
I think, to be honest, he would definitely start most games for a top Championship team. And obviously, I think he would probably struggle in the Premier League just simply because he hasn't had the game time, he hasn't had the experience yet. So I think it would do him good and it would do us good to kind of just figure out where he's at, because obviously we don't want to kind of get into that situation like we've kind of had with Ben Woodward and Harry Wilson, where we don't play them at all, so they're just going out on loans and they're not really doing much in between that sort of time. So then you just have them at the club, and it's like, do you know what I mean? At that point, they get to like 22, 23, and it's like, well, what do we do with you?
Yeah, no, I do hear that a lot. A couple of comments here. Quixie saying hello. Ronaldo to United. More chance of me and Taylor Swift happening. Expectations: Sancho, Rice, Varane, Kane. Reality: Tom Heaton, Harry Winks, Kieran Trippier, and Mohamed to extension. I think you'll definitely you'll get Sancho. You will get Sancho. Varane, I think you'll get Varane. I don't think you'll get a good midfielder. I don't see Kane at all. No way. And you don't need Kane. You really don't need Kane. The
thing is with United, they need to stop going for the players just because they're massive names, and they need to think about their style of play, exactly what positions they need, the funds that they have,
need a backup right
and what works for the whole team, as opposed to just seeing a name like Kane wants to leave and just going, oh, throw 100 mil, bang, done.
What they need to do is they need to get Brandon Williams out on loan, very similar to Liverpool. You need to see what he can do, and they need a backup right back. Trippier being the perfect one.
Did they sell Dalot, or is he still on loan to
AC Milan? It was on loan at AC Milan. And the interesting news on that is AC Milan is actually wanting potentially to keep him for another year on loan with potentially he's like decent, I think, hasn't he? He's been all right.
Well, I think it's so valuable, the fact that he can play on both sides, and he's done a few games on the right midfield, I think, as well. And he never really got a chance at United in terms of being in, this sort of team. He was playing in a really poor team when he was at United, and I think it would do decent for him because now he's got more experience at a Europa League level, a team fighting for Champions League in AC Milan. Obviously, he's had that experience and he's played plenty of games.
Are you thinking of bringing Dalot back to? Is that your thought process?
I think it would make sense for United because he's still young. He does the both sides like Trippier does. He's got game time now, and he's that more attacking player. It gives something, different to United. I think he's got set pieces, I think, in his bag as well. And so it just doesn't seem logical to buy a player who's 31. You know exactly what you're getting from Trippier. He's English, so he's probably going to cost more when you literally have somebody on your wage bid already.
He won't cost more because he's in Spain. It would only cost more if he was in England.
Either way, the fact that they literally already own him just makes so much more sense.
I would probably get him out on another loan. I'd probably let him stay at Inter get him out for another year or two. Bring in Trippier, then bring Dalot back after a couple of years and work on it that way. There's so many options that you could do with Diego Dalot. I mean, I like the guy. Does Ollie, though? That's the question. And it's always does Ollie and all that. Wolf saying Kenny looks sober finally. He's not as hyperactive today. It's lovely. Why Ollie doesn't rate Dalot and Donny, I'll never know. I mean, Donny is a strange one. Donny is a very strange one.
It is weird, yeah.
I don't think Dalot's crap. I just don't think you've seen him, Kenny. Let's talk Conte, though. I mean, this is the big news that came out last night, and I had already planned the show, and I try not to move any out of the shit. And let's be fair, the Football Terrace already covering it, so I thought I'd hang back on this one, and we'd discuss it today. And Conte, I mean, fucking hell. If Tottenham couldn't look any worse than they already do, this happens. I mean,
Yeah.
Ten Hag has rejected them. Brendan Rodgers has rejected them. They were talking to Martinez. They were talking to Southgate or approached Southgate. Tottenham are in a complete shambles at the moment. But why has Conte decided not to go to Spurs? Well, he's not convinced about the project. I can only imagine why. I mean, he's probably been told, I want you to get top four, here's 70 million, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, by the way, Kane's walking out. I can only imagine why he doesn't like the project. Also, he'd have to work with Daniel Levy, and I don't think many people want to do that. There was a difference on staff members. I think Conte wanted to bring in 7 or 8. He was only allowed 4 or 5, so disagreed on that. Apparently, there was a big difference on salary. Apparently, £2 million difference, which isn't a big difference, to be brutally honest. 2 million, like, yes, that's not a huge difference. That's an extra maybe 20k a week. That's not a big difference, really, for a team like Spurs, anyway. And don't forget who we're fucking talking about. We're talking about Antonio Conte. We're not talking about some shitty manager. You don't know what you're going to get. You're talking about one of the best managers out there at this moment, who is unemployed. Like, need I say that again? He is unemployed. He quit Inter. You're not going to have to pay for him. Like, it's absolutely barbaric. And as I said earlier, I spoke to my dad, who's a Tottenham fan, and he just wants Daniel Levy to go get fucked. He just wants him gone. He says Daniel Levy is poison, he's disgrace, absolutely hates him. It was mad. But Reece, what do you make on all of this? I mean, it's fucking barbaric. I mean, as Nippin says here, Conte was all in for it. But Daniel Levy is a fucking control freak, and you have to probably say that, yeah, Levy has probably fucked up. And it's interesting that Levy is the guy that spread this news. He went to his tier 1 journalists. He went to his tier 1 guys and was like, Conte's done, he's got to sign the contract. He's the one that's put himself in this position.
Yeah, it's a really bad show for Spurs. I really don't know where they're going to go from here. I can only see, for managers coming in, I can only see Poch, and again, that doesn't do anything for their face in terms of how embarrassing that would be to just go back to him after their number 1 choice has walked away. And I completely respect Conte because, Daniel Levy is clearly an absolute arsehole, and he's taken his pride and actually what he feels is right for him over just money. And I mean, I don't really blame him, because the Spurs project, I don't really see there being a project at the moment. I just see the club in absolute disarray. Obviously, they got the new stadium, they were in the Champions League, they're in the Champions League final, and since then it's completely fallen off a cliff. Their best players leaving. I don't know. I've seen they're going to try and get Son to extend his contract, which, to be honest, he would be mental to sign. They've got an arsehole for a chairman. They've got a bunch of their players, I think, in the last year or 2 of their deals. They're just not really going anywhere, I don't see at the moment. And I feel like they need to bring in something completely fresh, wipe the slate clean with a bunch of the players, maybe drop down a few positions and just take the hit for a year or 2 and really just restart, because I think that cycle of Poch's players and those guys from sort of 2014, 2015 onwards, for the next 3-4 years from there, those players aren't the ones that they are anymore. They've got the likes of Alderweireld, who's really aging. They gave him a brand new, 4-year deal, I think, last season or the year before. Obviously, they lost Vertonghen last year, and they didn't really bring anyone in to replace him. Aurier, I think, is leaving. They brought in Doherty, who seems to be a complete waste of money. Both their left backs, Danny Rose obviously left the club. They've only got Ben Davis, who isn't really a top player, and he's always injured anyway. They've only got one good midfielder in Højbjerg. And Dombele isn't always fit. Dele Alli isn't always fit and consistent, and he hasn't had good game time in a long time. Son is obviously there and a very good player. Lucas is inconsistent. Bergwijn has not been anywhere near the player that they expected. Who else? Vinicius. I don't know if they're getting that on a permanent or a second-year loan or whatever, but obviously, and then obviously Kane's leaving, and it just seems like, to me, the Spurs team is at the end of its run. I don't really see where they're going to go from here, to be honest. And going back to Conte, it just sums up kind of Spurs at the moment, I think.
No, I do hear that. We are joined by the main man, Andrew. I love Andrew. Andrew spits so much facts. He's definitely one of my favourites, and I'm allowed to say that. Go on, Andrew. Talk to us about Conte, because we're talking Conte. I mean, my dad's a Spurs fan, and I'm judging from his mood. If he could kill Levy, he probably would. He's done with his bullshit. This is Tottenham are done. They're finished. They are finished in the world of football. They're not a serious club.
No. Tottenham can't even start to progress unless Daniel Levy goes.
Yeah.
They can't even think about it. I think he's the only whatever he is, chairman. Who has the arrogance to think he can go to someone like Antonio Conte and slap demands down on him. Because remember, you should be begging someone like Antonio Conte to come to your club, and you should be going, who do you want and how much do you want? That's what you should be doing, yeah? Because you're in the mud. Your Mourinho vanity project didn't work. Yeah, so we know he's been your dream manager. And now you're going to a guy who's just broken Juventus's 9-year domination of Serie A. And you're in no position. You're in Europa Conference League. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Even if Kane goes, you should be going, I will sell Kane for 150 million, 180 million, whatever. You get the entire money to work in your transfers.
The more you say it, the more we dig deeper into this. Fucking European Conference League, and you're approaching Conte.
He's the only one.
Get out of here.
He's the only one. He's the only one stopping the progress. And the owner of ENIC, Joe, whatever his name is, do you know he doesn't really care? Because a proper owner would get involved. Do you know what I mean? They tell Levy to go. They tell Levy to go. What are you doing? They tell Levy, what are you doing? What are you doing here? What you make? We built this £1 billion stadium, right? Whatever. I know people call it. I know people call it.
Still not got naming rights for it.
Still not got naming rights. Yeah, we're out of the European Super League. It didn't happen. We had to take a huge government loan. We furloughed staff. You know, we ironically, I don't favour this conspiracy, but there was something going around last night about season tickets and everything, like this news coming out around season tickets and everything like that. And you have the gall to make demands of Antonio Conte. Shame. For shame. Shame on you, Daniel Levy. You've let your ego get in the way again, man. He is the main block. Yeah, he is the main block stopping Spurs thinking of progressing. He's the main issue at that club.
Nippin saying it will take a riot to get rid of Levy.
It will. Unfortunately, it will.
Not Ronaldo looks like United want the glory days back, or just the olden days. Who does KH support? Andrew supports Chelsea. He is a Chelsea fan. Kenny saying, Kenny, you seem extra handsome today. It's Kenny, a bit bad when you have
to say that about yourself, Kenny.
I was just about to say it's a bit bad when you
know your game's flat.
Yeah, you know it's bad when you're having to get someone else when you're writing that yourself. Like, I feel for you, Kenny. I really do. But Andrew, talk to me about Harry Winks. I mean, Just when I thought that this, I don't even know, right. Just when I thought United couldn't get any worse, they're linked to fucking Harry Winks, like, and apparently, according to Manchester Evening News, they've made contact. They've made contact with Tottenham over the £25 million bid for fucking Harry Winks.
Okay, so let's take the name Manchester United out. If I said to you just simply, a club was going for Harry Winks, but as to going in midfield, but they've already got Van der Beek, you'd think I was telling you a very bad joke, right? Do you know what I mean? And this is Manchester United. They've got Donny Van der Beek. They don't.
I mean, they wanted it, yeah, but you gotta go for Winks as a DM.
Imagine this next season. This could be next season. Any Man United fans watching, and I know Kelly. Imagine this starting midfield for you next season: Harry Winks, Fred, and McTominay.
That is a spicy midfield. That is title winning stuff.
I tell you what, I will credit Levy if he gets 25 million for Winks. If he gets 25 million for Winks, then he's done a job on United.
That's like a quarter of what they're getting for fucking Harry Kane.
I know. If he does that, I will credit Levy on that. Harry Winks. I mean, what has happened to Manchester United and Arsenal? I'm reading Arsenal. Aston Villa have gone ahead of Arsenal in the race for Benduia. I'm hearing they had to make a second bid because their first bid wasn't good enough. And then I'm hearing rumours of Bellerin Ramsey swap deal for Juventus. I mean, what is going on? What is going on?
Oh my god, these clubs.
Well, you got Liverpool, City, and Chelsea linked to proper players are doing business. The proper business.
I don't know about us.
Well, okay, but at least you've got a defender in. Whatever, you've already started. But
I'll ask you a question, right? So if United get Sancho, Varane, and Harry Winks, is that a successful transfer window?
Think of this. Think of this. That Sancho.
I missed Tom Heaton out of that as well.
Yeah. Think of this. What if they don't get Sancho?
If they fuck Sancho up, then honestly, they are the laughing stock of the century.
I don't think that's going to be a wise idea for the Glazers not to get Sancho. I mean, we saw what they did.
Get Hendo to just chat to him in the England squad, and we're just like, yeah, come on, lad.
I mean, you definitely won't be getting him because you have to sell Mane or Salah.
No, but they said that about us getting Thiago last year. Literally, all the reliable journalists said that if we want Thiago, we're going to have to sell Genie.
Well, no, because Thiago wasn't that expensive. Thiago was what?
No, but the point was that all of the every single journalist said that we've had to sell somebody to bring Thiago in.
Top journalists are idiots as well, though.
But wait,
Thiago wasn't that expensive. This is 80+ million.
Are United still preparing their bid?
No, so it's a weird one. It looks like the bid's going in. So what they were doing is, and this whole preparing, it's how football is nowadays. What they did is there's a certain amount that's going to be paid up front, and there's a certain amount that is obviously done by add-ons, and then negotiating with Dortmund. Apparently, negotiations are going well. I mean, Dortmund are responding very well to United by all means. So it does look like United will go get Sancho, and look, Sancho will be done, but I think United fans need to remember this is Sancho that should have been done last year. So this isn't them working quickly. This is them working ridiculously slowly. But if you are new to the channel, please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. It really helps us out. Hala Madrid saying Man United heading down towards Arsenal. I mean, yeah. I mean, United are in all sorts of trouble at the moment, and I mean, if they go get Harry Winks, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. That is insane. It's actually, I don't know if at any point I should be feeling sorry for Arsenal or United.
No, you shouldn't.
Like, I feel like for their fans, how much more can they possibly take?
Well, you know the bot. Everyone goes to the bottom of the barrel. They seem to have found some more room underneath that bottom of the barrel, man.
I mean,
Harry Winks, Buendia, Championship player for 40 million, please. What is going on? What is going on?
I don't know if I should be giving up on sanity. Really, I mean, it's so bad. Like, it's oh wow, it's mad. Let's talk Ronaldo. Actually, no, let's not talk about Ronaldo. Who gives a fuck about Ronaldo? He ain't coming. Just deal with it.
PSG, leave it like that.
Yeah, something like that. Let's talk about Arsenal. A couple of stories on Arsenal, as we all love talking about Arsenal. And Arsenal fans have miraculously disappeared from the channel for a little bit. They're not willing. The link's always in the chat, but Arsenal fans don't seem willing to come on these transfer shows. I can't imagine why. It's they're on vacation at the moment. Yeah. They are on vacation. But Arsenal interested in Zeki Celik, which I think is quite funny, because apparently they're not sure if they can financially do the max salary deal.
That's why they're being outbid by Aston Villa.
So they're not sure they can get the Buendia deal done because they're being outvoted by Villa, and they're not sure they can financially get max. It's a complete and utter shambles. I mean, and I told you, if Arsenal miss out on Europe in any way, shape, or form, it ends badly for them. Hi guys, it's ended badly for you.
It has. No, you're absolutely right. Look what we did when we were outside that Europe. You know what we did? We took Conte from the champions. That's what we did. We took Conte. I know it was a clause, but we took him. Yeah, we took him. We went, okay, we're out of Europe. Fine. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to start rebuilding. We took him. We took David Luiz. We took some other players. You know, we took them and we went, fuck it. We'll try and do something. But that's what Arsenal. That's what a big club. That's what a big club should do. They should have the. Yeah. You know what? Oh my God! You know what we're going to do? We've had the worst Premier League season probably for over 20 years. You know what we're going to do? A proper owner would go, I'm not having this. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to splash the cash. You know what I mean? I had my. You know what I mean? But they haven't got a proper owner, proper manager, proper players. I mean, we're seeing now. Have you seen now the Aubameyang rumours are coming out now about him possibly they're looking to move him on, or
are they? Maybe. Yeah, it would have been a hell of a lot easier if you didn't offer him ridiculous wages. I'm just chucking that out there now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I swear to God, now if they lose out on Buendia, to Aston Villa. As much as I can banter United about signing Harry Winks, that's just embarrassing, man. That is embarrassing. Because remember, Villa aren't in Europe either. Yeah, so just embarrassing.
Yeah, I hear that. I really do. Trying to work out. Do me a nice little graphic, you assholes. I have to do my own graphic then, you wankers. Wales are disgusting. YouTube saying it's coming home. Yeah, for England. Kenny, why did you delete someone's comment up? Kenny.
They said that United were heading down towards Arsenal, and it's a lie. So no line in the comments.
Hey man, don't be a mod dictator, okay? Just don't do it, yeah? Only if it's nasty stuff, yeah? Take the banter.
Kenny, why can't I see his comment in the chat?
I think you read it out anyway, now.
I did.
Yeah.
But Kenny, do that again and I'll remove moderator privileges. Because that for all you know, that was someone new as well. For all you know, that could have been an extra subscriber. You dickhead. Kenny Hid, that won't be happening again. Kenny abusing power. He is. If he does that again, he'll have moderators removed from his thing. I take it serious because that could have been a new subscriber, Kenny. That could have got us to 307. So I'm not impressed by you. I'm not impressed. But Reece, talk to me about how much Arsenal are in the mud right now.
You're on mute, Reece. You're on mute, I think.
Yeah, you're muted, Reece.
Hello. Right. I actually think that Celik would be a very good signing for them. I haven't obviously watched him a lot because I don't watch Ligue 1 because Farmers League and that. But from what I've heard of him, which is a lot of people I've spoken to who have watched Lille this season, he's been very good, and obviously he can. I don't think he'd be that expensive because obviously Lille have the money issues, and obviously he's from the French league as opposed to being English. So Max Aarons, I do think he's majorly overhyped. There's no doubt that he's a good player, and he was okay when he came into the Premier League a couple of years ago, but he didn't light the league on fire. So I do think there's an element to him being overrated, mainly because he's English.
Yeah.
And also with the what's his name, the Buendia stuff, it's embarrassing that their money situation has gotten to this, but they've completely done it to themselves by the past few years with all the contract issues they've had with the likes of Aubameyang. Before that, Aaron Ramsey, even going all the way back to like Sanchez and Van Persie and stuff like that. They've always had issues in terms of contracts, and obviously that comes down to the ownership and the top of the board and stuff like that. And I think it was always a joke in the first place, just giving Aubameyang what he wanted, because you've got to think of his age, natural decline. Nobody expected him to be as bad as he was last season, but when you've got so many poor players around him, his levels are always going to drop. He can't carry a team for 2 full seasons when he's got nobody really creating around him. And so I think they've really missed out on cashing out on him last year when his stocks were high. Obviously, he got the Golden Boot, or joint Golden Boot, didn't he, 2 seasons ago? And so, I think they really missed out cashing on him because I don't think they would get that much now.
No.
And so I think Lacazette's probably leaving as well, which then means that they need a number 9. They obviously need a 6 because, like you said, Basuma would be a very good signing, but he doesn't fit what they need because they've already got somebody like Partey. It would be a similar situation what United have. Obviously, he can do a job in the 6, but 2 8s doesn't work in a double pivot. You need that world-class or just very good number 6 to really give the centre-back stability more than anything. Obviously, I think Bayern's linked to leave as well, but I don't see a swap deal for Ramsey being any sort of logic in terms of for Arsenal. For Juve, I don't think it really matters because, they've got a load of centre mids. He doesn't really play that much.
And he earns 400k a week. That's why they want to keep him.
Yeah, but Juve are terrible with transfer business recently. Yeah. Half their team is like bloody 35.
Yeah.
So I really wouldn't be dealing with Juve, to be honest. And I just think overall Arsenal just completely screwed themselves over and don't really know what they're going to do, to be honest. Similarly to Spurs, it's just they've got themselves in this situation.
I do hear that. Max is just being rude. But Kenny, are you there? I don't think Kenny's there. But before we do wrap up, Andrew, talk to me about Sancho. Do you think United will get Sancho done?
I think they will, but I think it's going to be a long drawn out saga, and boring as well. Like it was in the last summer transfer window when everyone was going to the last day going, they're going to put the bid in, and nothing happened. I don't know. He's there. He's right there. Everything's agreed. Personal details agreed. Everything. They could get this done before the Euros. I know what you're saying about not putting him in the shirt. They don't even have to put him in the shirt now. Just announce the deal. Do you know what I mean? Just announce it. Just get him. Just say it's done. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I don't understand the hesitation. I really don't. If this was, listen, I think if this was if this was City or Chelsea going for Sancho, I think you might have heard an announcement already. Do you know what I mean? I think you might have heard an announcement. He's ready to go. No, he's even in England. He's in the England camp. The England camp's in England. They don't have to. They can send a medical team to the England camp. They don't even have to bring him up to Manchester. They can get. They've got offices in London. He could go to London and sign at. He could go in London and sign at their offices. It's all there now. It's an open goal. They're differing, and it could cost them. Because if Chelsea can't get a centre forward, I know he wants to move to Manchester, back to Manchester. I've been hearing that, but if they differ anymore and Chelsea are finding it hard to get a striker, then you might hear more coming from Chelsea. Yeah, at the moment he's not the number one focus, obviously, but if they differ even more and it goes into the Euros, and we go into the knockout stage of the Euros and nothing's been announced, you might hear big more stories. But it's an open goal, and I don't know. I'm doing it. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a madness. It is a madness. Niall, Kenny is a bottle job in FIFA, just like Ollie. I don't live in Brighton. I live in London.
That's true.
Kenny is a good man. Yeah, Kenny's not too bad. Kenny, talk to me quickly about Sancho. I know this one is always getting spoken about. Do you think you will sign him?
Muted. Come on, guys. Come on.
Well, I think that he will sign.
Come on, speed it up.
I think he'll sign a new contract with Dortmund.
What? Really?
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking. I think he'll come to the red side of London. I mean, Manchester. Why do we? I think he'll come to the red side of Manchester.
I swear you make sometimes no sense. I said I think sometimes you make no sense.
Now I was saying he's coming to the red side of Manchester. He's coming.
Red side of Manchester. Now Kenny's dream is signing Harry Winks. Is that true, Kenny?
Harry Winks is a world-class player.
That's not shit.
Just not of this one. Just not of this one.
Max saying you streaming any longer or wrapping up? We'll be wrapping up because I am going to be going to do Wales versus some team. Wales versus Albania. We're doing a watch along, and that starts in about 15 minutes on the channel. Obviously, kickoff is at 5. So just another watch along. I'm trying to get some Welsh people, but if you want to come on, just let me know. If you want to laugh at Wales or not, I'm just because they're too cheap to do their own graphics. I'm having to do a graphic for them. Cheap bastards. But yeah, if you want to come on, feel free. Just let me know, and I will sort you out the link. But we are gonna wrap it up there. Yes, Kenny, you can come on for the Wales watch along if you want, as long as you're going to be mature and not block anyone. Yes, Max, you can. I will send you the link. Welsh blood. Yeah, we'll see. Wolf is, I think, a bit Welsh, or has got Welsh blood in him, So there you go. I've made people happy. But before we go, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Yeah, check out our socials: Twitter Let's Talk EPL, Instagram Let's Talk EPL _, and on TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. A big one today, a big one tonight, as shall I say. 11:30, like Sky Sports did with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, where they picked the best teams on a points-based system. I have done the same, but for club level. I've done both domestically and of all time. So make sure you tune in at that one. It's an open panel. Link's going to be in the chat. That is going to be a very entertaining show. FYI, 16 or above watching, because the show can deviate, shall I say, into some unspeakable before watershed things, as Reese found out a couple of weeks ago. But yes, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, follow the people that are about to shout out their socials. So we'll start with you, Reese. Where can they find you?
Yeah, over on Twitter, LFC_Reese, on TikTok, Reese_JB, and over here on YouTube, RJBTV.
Perfect. And Kenneth?
I'll pop with Carson Twitter on YouTube and a message to Wolf and Kenny in because I'm top of the league and just beat Leeds for £1, pal.
Big up, Kenny. Big up. Kenny is excited. Very excited. And last but not least, Andrew, where can they find you?
So subscribe to this channel. I'm on this channel for other shows, Chelsea stuff. Hopefully be on for Euro stuff as well. Shows on TV, watch-alongs, every other show on there. That's my Twitter handle. Go there. Links to Nexus channel, Geek Stuff, and KHNO Football. Thank you very much.
Perfect. I'm just adding in, because these wankers are too cheap to do their own shit. I am now having to do graphics for them. I'm not doing one for Albania because I'm only going to butcher their names if I do it anyway. Wolf saying, Kenny, you should start an OnlyFans. Please don't, Kenny. I'm asking.
No.
I'm asking for the sanity of my fucking eyes. Do not. And I make this very clear.
To it.
I'm not going to. That's Dom's job.
I don't want to.
Somebody that subs because everyone has some weird preferences.
Nice. If you want to see Reese's OnlyFans, type in Reese on OnlyFans, and you'll be able to find it.
It's just pictures of Van Dijk.
I just beaten Leicester 5-0, Wolf. Kenny. He's at the wheel. Tell me how good does it feel? Top of the league.
He is a complete nut job. We're going to end it there, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with the watch along for Wales versus Albania. But until then, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in a bit.